Hello guys, welcome back to another reacts. Today we're watching why Disney adults are going bankrupt for Disney. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe.
You'd expect to see excited children dragging their parents from ride to ride. Instead, you'll see adult enthusiasts running everywhere.
Honestly, have you seen the cost and price again with the Disney? The Disney ticket is not that cheap anymore, bro. It is expensive.
Screaming, driving around on
it is
expensive.
Expensive.
Every inch of their experience on TikTok. These are Disney adults.
Disney adults.
They are in their natural habitat, right?
Why is he showing just the most absurd Disney adults?
20 years old because they can't walk.
They can't walk?
About 5 desserts in one day to the tune of 10,000 calories.
That's not good.
Random stuff in the streets. Childless adults now outnumber families at the parks.
Childless adults outnumber the families. Well, duh. If I'm an adult and I have some money to spare, I will go to Disney.
Visit hundreds of times a year. Some even quit their jobs
100
to
times
Orlando to go every single day. And it might just be funny.
What?
It might just seem like some stupid, immature people.
You know,
but it all
people have money these days and they do stupid shit with their money. Why are we criticizing them? Let them do their stupid shit. I mean, I don't know. That's their choice, I guess.
Begins to fall into place when you realize that Disney is an empire, one that spreads its roots further and wider than any other company in history. It's consumed
that
some of the
famous
most
logo.
franchises in modern culture.
Why did he have to do that kind of logo in the background, bro?
Star Wars,
sorry.
Marvel,
Wait, Disney owns The Simpsons? I didn't know that.
20th Century Fox, ABC.
They do own everything. Billion-dollar company, by the way.
Into one giant corporate ecosystem.
I didn't know they own The Simpsons. That makes a lot of sense. There's not that many dirty jokes in The Simpsons, is there? No.
Operates 12 theme parks worldwide, a fleet of cruise ships, and an entire planned residential community in Florida.
They have a residential community based off Disney in Florida. Wow.
These attract over 150 million visitors a year, more than any
That's
other
a lot of
attraction
people
on the planet by an
I think also there's a lot of tourists from all over the world going to this, but I mean, again, there's a lot of Disney adults, I guess.
magnitude. Even if you don't
Thanks to the Disney adults, Disney stays funded. What are kids watching these days on Disney? There's no good show that I've like heard about. There's no good anything from Disney at the moment.
Single day without encountering something Disney owns. The films and programs we stream, the shows that kids everywhere watch in the morning, the merchandise in the shop window, the theme park advert on your feed. And like every empire, Disney has its castles and, most importantly for its survival, its subjects. Because the most valuable thing that Disney owns can't be found on their balance sheet. Instead, it's the loyalty of millions of adults who don't just enjoy Disney, but embrace it with every fiber of their being, where Disney has truly become their religion. Now, the analogy of
Disney has become their religion is crazy to say.
Empire works so well because this
their
is a fantasy
religion
universe manufactured for subservience. And if you want to make anyone subservient to your brand, rich, generally middle-class adults without any religion are usually the holy grail. The overwhelming majority of Disney adults are just white, college-educated North Americans, many of whom spend up to $10,000 a year on just Disney alone. And a lot of the time, most are spending considerably more.
How much money are they spending? It's crazy.
You can easily spend $5,000 in a single day at the parks without even doing anything extravagant. A Disney cruise can set you back more than a fortnight in Southeast Asia.
More than a fort. The cruises are very expensive, man. You can go to Europe and I'm sorry guys, I've never been on a cruise my entire life, but I didn't know you could go to like Europe with a cruise. That's cool.
It's the only holiday they take. So think about what that really means. These are people with the money and freedom to go anywhere in the world, to explore different cultures, try new experiences, and see things that might genuinely challenge or change them. But instead, people just seem to come again and again to the same place, again and again. Not because they've weighed up their options, but because nothing else even occurs to them. Some would even go into huge debt to maintain their Disney addiction, even
families are going into debt for Disney vacation. Disney vacations is crazy.
Don't stretch far enough to cover it.
So the passes were.
Oh, I saw this video. I saw this.
For the both of us.
What?
For both of us.
For fucking what? You spent $1,000 on just being at Disney on here.
Yeah.
$1,000 just on the Disney crap.
I mean,
For a day, for 1 day.
One day is $1,000 is ridiculous.
Don't just visit regularly. They restructure
Holy
their entire lives
moly.
around proximity to the parks. From there, you can visit every day if you want, and some people practically do.
How does visiting nearly 3,000 times sound? Well, that has been done by this man, Jeff Wrights. He started visiting the park every day in 2012.
Think about
Wow.
how the rulers of ancient empires made their money. They owned the land, controlled the culture, and dictated traditions and rituals, and the subjects paid for the privilege. Disney has
The
achieved something
privilege.
remarkably similar in our world, and it's getting stronger every single year. Disney adults naturally date other Disney adults through dedicated dating sites because who else would understand?
Wait, Disney adults date only Disney adults? What? What?
We find a Disney adult dating site?
we did.
Disney adult dating site, by the way. What?
That shows you that you can find somebody in this world.
You can get married
Oh my
in front of the
God.
castle. You can get married in the haunted mansion. And instead of a traditional tiara, some Disney adults choose bespoke pieces to get married
Oh
in.
hell no! Not the Vera Wang Disney headdress, bro. Stop the veil.
These Mickey Mouses made in collaboration
GG's.
with some of the
Mickey
world's
owns your
most
fucking wedding. Mickey owns you.
leading brands. Like
The
Vera Wang.
Mickey Mouse experience.
Honeymoons, also Disney, or maybe a Disney cruise. And if you're now thinking this must be as far as it goes,
Disney
then
cruise.
you haven't heard of Golden Oak.
What is Golden Oak?
Is essentially for the boss level Disney adult.
What?
It's the most extreme form of constructing your life around Disney. It is a community within Disney World itself, made up of
What?
eye-wateringly expensive mansions that start at around $10 million.
Oh
Homes are
my
built
god! You're telling me you could get a $10 million house Disney themed? What? Why?
Disney spec with statues and paintings.
Have
of
you seen the Pokeball engagement ring? No, but I want that. That one's more valid than Disney. Sorry.
characters in the gardens and on the
Ew!
walls.
What the fuck?
Guys,
Guys, look at this. This is so cursed. Ah! What the fuck they do to Elsa? Do you guys see this? Oh my god! It's so creepy. Ah! Hell no!
And on the walls.
Oh
floors, and
hell
ceilings.
no!
So now we have homes, holidays, and relationships all inside the Disney universe.
Guys, if I were to get a ring for myself, like if I'm getting married, I hope one day I do. I want a Overwatch themed marriage ring. Overwatch themed. Because I grew up on that shit. I know, it's crazy, right? Overwatch themed marriage ring. I'm sorry.
Identity itself. Disney doesn't actually allow adults to wear full costumes to the parks. That's
Wait.
reserved for children.
Adults can't wear costume? Didn't they also add like you can drink at Disney now or something? This was like a couple years ago.
And so employees dressed as characters remain the only real versions. So Disney bounding means dressing to evoke a character without technically being in costume.
Wow.
Now the word
Yes,
means that
I would
these
have a Overwatch the game themed wedding ring. Yes.
people are bound for
Like
Disney.
something Mercy themed. I love Mercy from Overwatch. I would be like a Mercy themed wedding band something.
Headed that way to evade the costume police, but it portrays a deeper truth. These adults are both bound by Disney, a soft, comfortable cage that poses
What?
no
Is that the
charges, and they are
clothing?
bound to
They can wear this shit, but they can't wear exactly the costume is crazy. The amount of people that would cosplay at this park though, would go insane.
Disney. They eschew individual identity and bolt themselves onto these characters instead. And then there's the most disturbing ritual of all, one
What?
that came to light through horrified employees. Disney adults
Okay.
often choose Disneyland as the final resting place for the remains of
Disney fans want their ashes spread at the park. What?
their loved one.
Bro, no, you cannot be doing this at a park. This is a fucking park. This is not a memorable place. Oh my god.
Employees have taken to social media to admit that they regularly have to go and clean the ashes of a dead person.
One custodian told
That
the
is
Journal
so
the Haunted
bad.
Mansion probably has so much human ashes in it that it's not even funny. Now, custodians told the Wall Street Journal that the job requires a special vacuum cleaner, which comes out at least once a month.
Disneyland is now recognized as one
It's the favorite spot to scatter family ashes. It's crazy.
of the most popular places on Earth to scatter ashes.
No
Employees
freaking
receive special
way.
training on how to clean ashes. The company
That is
even has a special
terrible.
code word grandma to alert employees. that
Code
more
grandma. Oh my god.
While it's quite morbid for us to think that these people's ashes are being vacuumed up by a 17-year-old on minimum wage,
That is
and dumped in a
bad.
bin with leftover turkey drumsticks. for Disney adults,
Ew! You want your grandma with the leftover turkey drumsticks is crazy. You better not be spreading your ashes near Disney, please.
It's a fitting end to a Disney
This is
life.
so
So
bad.
from birthdays to weddings to death, every stage of life channeled through the same corporation. The psychoanalysis
God.
Eric Fromm called this automaton conformity. The idea that people escape the anxiety of freedom by adopting pre-packaged identities. You don't have to
That's
figure
so
out who
sad.
you are if someone's already done it for you. You don't have to face the terror of choice if the choices have already been made. This is exactly what
Grandma goes right with the large fry.
Disney offers a full identity off of the shelf. Your character, your aesthetic, your community, all handed to you in a gift shop bag. They go so far as to engineer the physical environment to make sure it sticks. The parks use patented scent cannons, called smellitzers, hidden in walls and vents, firing specific fragrances at you hundreds of times a day. The
Oh
olfactory
my
system,
God.
meaning your sense of smell, connects directly to the brain regions for emotion and memory, which is exactly why Disney invested so heavily in scent engineering. There are
What?
also over 30,000 unique paint colors across the parks, including a shade called Go Away Green, specifically designed to make infrastructure invisible to guests. The
What?
background music in the morning is fast and exciting. Evening music slows down to make you linger and shop. So the brainwashing extends from the physical environment in parks, which still constitutes the vast majority of Disney's profits, to
Go away green is crazy. Yo, I just painted this go away green.
sprawling digital empire of content and franchises. They started handing each film to a different director with a different vision and no shared outline. For Star Wars, they spent 2 films building up the villain Snoke, then killed him off with no explanation, and then patched it over with somehow Palpatine returned. A line so lazy it became a meme as soon as the credits rolled. Then there was the infamous Snow White, which we've made tons of videos on before. Hundreds of millions were spent on a remake where the lead called the original weird and the princess stalker,
with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
while the romance was gutted in favor of girl boss leadership arcs nobody asked for, where the dwarves
God.
were replaced with CGI and
Oh god. Oh god. Did anybody see this movie? Now I kind of want to watch it. Oh my god. Oh my god.
it completely bombed and everybody
It bombed. Holy shit.
hated it, completely desecrating the original loved one. There's a pattern across everything Disney touches now where ideology takes priority over storytelling. We've seen it with the conflicts in politics in Florida with just the parks alone, but also in movies and TV, characters are constantly rewritten to represent something, where villains have become strawmen for whatever ideological message the writers want to push. The old Disney movies at least told universal stories about love, loss, courage, and fear that could touch everyone. Now even Bob Iger himself had to publicly admit that Disney had been putting
That's
quote, messaging
crazy.
over storytelling, and that he would finally no longer tolerate it. When the CEO of a company is saying that out loud, you know the rot has gone deep. But Disney adults, as visible and extreme as they are, only represent the most obvious layer. They're the ones who wear their loyalty openly, but many of us contribute too, and often without realizing we're doing it. Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar fans didn't sign up for Disney. Disney just
They
comes
didn't.
for all of us.
Disney
You
just
probably watch
owns it all. I mean, Marvel has gone down the hill. Star Wars 2, Pixar. Where is Pixar? We're
anything
having
on
Toy Story 5, guys.
TV, it's coming for you. When Disney buys these companies,
Disney
it
buys
families,
everything.
Entire generations of people who had built deep emotional
Jesus.
connections to these franchises suddenly found themselves at the company's mercy.
Comic-Con.
And in some cases, the result has been nothing short of vandalism, as we saw with the failed Star Wars movies and series. All the constant Marvel
Rip Star
reruns that
Wars.
seem to get worse and worse and worse. Let alone all the countless other franchises ruined in the blatant crusade of profit extraction.
Oh
Now,
my god. I feel so bad for some of these movies are just
your eyes at a grown woman sobbing over Goofy or Mickey Mouse, but Disney
What?
is an all-consuming beast that might destroy something you love eventually. We've mentioned it many times with films like Snow White, as this all tells us the most insidious thing about how the company operates. It isn't purely extrinsic, something bottled onto modern culture from the outside. It's intrinsic to our memories, our feelings, our sense of what safety and happiness mean. A company whose influence has grown inside of us since childhood.
That's
It starts with
crazy.
something most of us completely underestimate. I mean, just think about some iconic Disney moments. Different films, different decades, different characters, but the same feeling. That warmth in your chest, that tug backwards to somewhere safe and simple. And don't get me wrong, in many cases, there is great cinema with Disney. The mere existence of Disney adults.
I miss the old Disney. I miss the old Disney.
Disney has ever done. This is a company that
The last solid film Pixar was Hoppers. Before that, Soul, Encanto. Wasn't that like 3 years ago? Yeah, it was a couple years ago.
Universal about childhood, the wonder, the safety.
Disney will never be the
simplicity,
same.
The innocence, and put it into words and pictures in a way nobody has ever done before, and that turned out to be the recipe.
I miss the dark movies. They used to have dark Disney movies, like the ones that are like decades old. Those were good.
Insane success. It allowed America's soft power to expand across the world. And there's a word for the feeling Disney films try so hard to create, and it's older and more powerful than most people ever realize.
Wait, I did love
And
Beauty
it
and the
comes from
Beast.
two ancient Greek words, nostos
So good.
meaning to return home, and algos meaning pain. It was actually coined as a medical diagnosis in the 17th century to describe the crippling homesickness of Swiss soldiers fighting abroad who longed for their homeland so desperately that some became physically ill. Nostalgia isn't happiness, it's closer to a kind of grief.
Did they make a Moana live action, guys?
Had or think you
I
had,
think I
but
saw
you
The
can
Rock
never
as The
fully
Rock.
return to. And that's what makes it so
Maui.
commercially potent. If the feeling were wholly satisfying, you'd experience it once and move on. But nostalgia pulls you back again and again because it never quite delivers.
I thought
what
they
it
did. They
promises.
did.
Disney enthusiasts are suspended in that nostalgia cycle, and it's
I
highly
hate
addictive.
that Disney doesn't listen to its Disney just never listens to its audience when they complain. Like, oh my god, Disney never cares.
We will probably
Disney
reminisce
doesn't
about
mind
childhood,
losing
but when we were young,
$170
nothing
million.
mattered. Disney positioned itself to capitalize on that
Wild.
wistful emotion. Of course, Disney didn't invent nostalgia, but they were the first to understand how essential it is to our human experience. They recognized it as an unresolved need, and if you could make yourself the answer to its calling, you'd make people dependable. The fertile ground for this was childhood. That's where our deepest emotional connections are formed, and for a company whose long-term survival depended on those connections lasting well beyond childhood, their work had to start there. So Disney invested enormous resources into understanding how children form emotional bonds, psychological research into their emotional drivers, how they interpret symbols, what feels authentic versus manufactured. They used those findings to calibrate their films with specific color palettes, certain music intervals, and certain narrative beats, all to create maximum emotional renaissance in developing brains. We associate a lot of this work with big tech, but Disney, funnily enough, was there first. Before the 90s and 2000s, the big commercial problem was still that children's films, even the most successful ones, don't turn a company into a conglomerate. Disney's parks were making the serious money. But while you can hook children in with films while they're young, they aren't the ones with money to spend at the parks. They needed to tap into that
Fairy
adult.
godparents.
Look at Walt Disney himself explaining this.
We
Aw.
are principally designed for children.
Well, no, you have to appeal to the adult, or, well, the adults have the money, the children don't have any money.
Yeah. Yup, he knew it. Mr. Walt fucking Disney.
Had to crack adulthood, and luckily, an early Disney movie, Peter Pan, provided the perfect solution. You have to stop people from growing up. Disney later summed up the strategy in 2 words, age decompression, and it comes into its own in the last 10 to 20 years. We've been sold the idea that adulthood is a rude awakening, and of course it feels like that sometimes. Work, bill, rent, stress, disappointment in friendships, relationships. In this real world, people don't burst into song on the street unless they're intoxicated or going through some sort of mental crises. Strangers glare at you for making eye contact, working in glass offices, not extraordinary places bursting with color and life. This isn't what you were promised throughout childhood. You're a princess, a prince, a chosen one, just waiting to be discovered. But the problem is that when you treat adults like children long enough, they start to behave like them. The infantilization of culture is now endemic to society. It's my safe space. I'm protecting my energy. This is my self-care.
My
built an
self-care.
entire vocabulary around retreating from challenges and
God,
writing the language of
the amount of money you can sell, the amount of money you can sell, the amount of items you can sell to an adult in Disney World is crazy.
Makes it impossible to question. If someone says Disney is their safe space, what are you going to do? Tell them that their feelings are wrong? Attacking their coping mechanism? You'd sound like a monster. And that's the shield. Corporations love this because a customer who believes they need your product for their emotional well-being and life is a customer for life. So what do you do when adult life just does feel too intense? Well, you go back to your safe place. Now we all turn to our favorite form of escapism when we're in a rough patch. Some play the video games they played as kids or cook
CS.
It's okay to escape occasionally. But when manufactured on an empire global corporate level, escaping becomes a trap its subjects willfully live in because the alternative is too frightening. Ever since
everyday life is too much for some of us. Being an adult sucks. I want to go to Disneyland. I want to game. I totally get people, you know, having their fun time at Disneyland or Disney World.
Psychoanalyst Eric Fromm called this automaton.
I want Disney gaming. I want that Disney magic.
Of freedom by adopting pre-packaged identities. You don't have to figure out who you are if someone's already done it for you. You don't have to face the terror of choice if the choices have already been made. So in this sense, escapism might be the biggest misnomer of the century. People are going to the same place, consuming the same stories, riding the same rides, wearing the same ears year after year. There's no true exploration, just the illusion of exploration mirrored in a form that feels safe and easy.
Pixar
Plato's allegory of the cave, which is one of the world's oldest thought experiments. Inside the cave, the prisoners are chained up, facing a wall, watching shadows flicker in the firelight.
Bruh.
Never been outside to see the real
Just
world.
let me tour Mattel HQ and I'll be happy. You like Barbie? I love Barbies. I grew up on Barbies.
The important bit is what happens when one prisoner finally gets dragged outside. The sunlight is blinding, the real world is overwhelming, confusing.
I'm so sad that like a couple years later, the new Barbie was like the Monster High doll.
Too much to process. You might feel like this when
you mean Bratz 2, Sap? I fucking love Bratz. Monster High too, yeah.
Adventure. You might step off the train, plane, or bus in an entirely new place and feel anxious yet excited trepidation. It could also be something like starting a new job, going to a new school, or heading to university for the first time. It's uncomfortable by definition. This isn't your comfort zone. This is what makes it an adventure, and eventually you become more comfortable. These are the moments where life happens. But when someone feels thrown into the unknown, their first instinct tends to be that they want to go back. Disney manufactured a fake representation
people want to go back.
Keeps people cocooned inside their cave, and honestly, it's
look at Mickey Mouse. Look at that rich bastard.
It made the cave so beautiful, so emotionally optimized, so perfectly calibrated that the real world just could never compete at all. But Plato's point wasn't that the cave is evil, it's that the prisoner who stays there will never know what they're missing. You can't miss the sunsets you've never seen, you can't long for depth you've never experienced. The cave doesn't feel like a cage, that's the deeper problem. And this is where this whole video stops being about a story on Disney adults and becomes a story about all of us. Because making us feel comfortable with the cave is the dominant strategy behind social media.
I feel like Disney has gone downhill the last couple of years.
Behind every streaming service, and lately generative AI. Every app on your phone is designed around the principle to keep it simple.
Fuck AI.
Keep them coming back. Swipe right, swipe left, like, subscribe, follow. Don't make anyone think too hard. Don't make anyone wait. Don't make anyone uncomfortable. Reduce every interaction to its simplest possible form and repeat it infinitely. They create environments where the content is familiar, the rewards are predictable, and the outside world, with all its friction and ambiguity, starts to feel like too much effort. Disney has been pioneering this model for 100 years, targeting psychological engineering at children, building an empire driven by profit extraction at a level that puts people into more
You know, he's smart. If you make the children grow up with this cartoons, they're gonna be an adult and they're gonna look back and be like, oh yeah, I want to go to Disney World. Smart psychology right there. Make them grow up with Disney so they end up being a Disney adult.
Child to always stay a lifelong Disney consumer.
Oh my god, this is so fucking embarrassing. Why do people do this?
Feel like enough, making the fake experience feel like a life. That's what makes the cave feel so complete that the prisoners never even think to look for the door. But don't be fooled into thinking this is some far-flung issue situated inside a theme park in Florida. You might find yourself or someone you know sitting right there with them, watching the shadows dancing on the wall.
And that's it. That's for the video. I'm gonna stop here. That's it. That's for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed.